Hi, I'm Doc AJ Chua and welcome to Adjusting Your Heart. We talk about mental health and relationships every Friday, so please do subscribe. The rising of fuel and commodities, not to mention the weakening of the Philippine peso, are causing a lot of financial strains on many households and businesses. So here are 4 practical tips to help you overcome financial stress. Tip number 1, live within your means. Mismanagement of funds or spending money that you don't have will lead to debts and unnecessary financial stress. These can in turn lead to excessive worrying, causing loss of appetite and sleep, thereby adversely affecting one's physical and mental health. Hence, it is crucial that we learn to live within our means. Having a budget will help. Come up with a list of your fixed and essential expenses like food, transport, rent, electricity, cell phone bills, parental support, children's tuition fees, and if you're a Christian, tithes. Deduct these from your monthly income. Then set aside a sum that you'd like to save every month. Think twice before buying something. Do you really need it? You can try to apply the 45-day principle. Wait after 45 days and see if you still want that product. Chances are, there is another new product in the market that you'd like to own. Canvass before buying and check for the best deals. Many of us are enticed by the sign sale. Of course, buy a product that's on sale if the price is really much cheaper and you need the product. If not, you're just burning money. Live within your means so you don't need to borrow money and incur debts. Be wary of misusing credit cards. Don't swipe if you can't pay the entire amount when the bill arrives. Schedule payments so you won't forget. Credit card interest is very high and it will keep increasing if you don't pay on time. You can read Dr. Andrew Lewson's Debt-Free Lifestyle for more tips. Tip number 2, think of ways to reduce expenses. Cut down on your monthly expenditures. A big portion of our expenses go to food. Instead of eating out all the time, you can bring food to the office or ask your kids to bring food to the school. That's one of the things that financial guru Mr. Chinky Tan shared in his book, Diary of a Pulubi. His title for that chapter is Ayaw Magbaon Now, Pulubi Later. Another is Kape-kape Now, Pulubi Later. If you're a coffee lover, be mindful of how much you spend buying from coffee shops. If you have the habit of buying a cup every day and assuming that a cup is 100 pesos, that's automatically 3,000 pesos in a month. Why not brew your own coffee at home or drink 3-in-1 coffee to save money? Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to coffee shops. I also do it, especially when I'm with friends. But it's not daily or that often. If your office is near your house, walk or cycle going there instead of driving. You can save on gas and parking fees. It's also a good way to exercise. Another way is to recycle and upcycle. I'll share more about that in next week's episode. Tip number 3, think of ways to increase income. If you're an employee, do work harder and smarter to get promoted. If you have the extra time and energy, look for a side hustle that you're passionate about and that you can do remotely. You can do online teaching or coaching or be an NFT artist. If you're into selling, you may consider looking for other products to sell or look for suppliers who can give you lower prices. Sell products online. If you're a businessman or a businesswoman, think of ways to tweak your products and expand your market. Think of ways to earn passive income. Maybe you can start your own blog, YouTube, or TikTok. You can write an ebook, create an online course, join affiliate marketing, rent a spare room, and the like. Tip number 4, think of ways to share blessings. You might be surprised to hear me advocating that you think of ways to share blessings to others when we're talking about financial stress. Focusing on the needs of others will not only make them happy, doing so will likewise lift your spirit, especially when you see the smile on the faces of the people you've helped and the hope that sparks in their eyes. Allow me to share the story of Manny. In the viral TikTok, which has over 40.6 million views, Perry Saenz pulls into a Starbucks drive-thru with a friend. Instead of ordering, she asked the barista, whose name is Manny, "What is your dream in life?" Manny replied that he was trying to buy a car worth $1,000. When Perry asked what he was struggling with, Manny said that it was depression and anxiety. Perry and her friend drove off and returned and gave Manny a bouquet of roses. Manny said with a smile, "Thank you so much. I've never gotten flowers before." Perry then gave him a wooden chest box with 1,000 cash and a toy car. Manny cried tears of joy upon opening the box. Perry told him, "This is just a sign from God that you're meant to be here and that you're so loved." Perry pulled off the surprise with the help of influencer Charlie Rocket, who runs the charity Dream Machine Foundation. The group gave Manny the first $1,000 to help him get a car. Afterwards, they raised an additional $38,000 for him to buy a better one. Charlie Rocket Jabali was an American hip-hop manager and an entrepreneur. He hit rock bottom in 2016 when his childhood brain tumor returned. At the time, he weighed 305 pounds. The one thing that kept him going was his dream of becoming an athlete. Over the course of 12 months, he ran 4 marathons, completed an Ironman, lost 125 pounds, and reversed his brain tumor. His dream saved his life, and he's now dedicating the rest of his life to making dreams come true for others in need of a miracle. And that's why he started Dream Machine Foundation. Let me end with the story of Ava Guan, a waitress at Hoshun Chinese restaurant in New Orleans, Louisiana. She shared how God answered her prayers. Ava went to Oliver Church before starting her shift. Upon learning that her small church needed a new air conditioning unit and some repairs, she donated $300. She knew it wasn't enough, so she asked God to send help. She went to work and remembered telling a customer to enjoy his meal. She was shocked when he left her a $777 tip for spending $63 on food. She knew it was God's way of answering her prayers, so she donated the entire amount to her church. The man who gave the tip opened a local restaurant himself that morning and was so grateful that he wanted to do something kind for someone else. And now he's hoping others pay it forward. My friends, I hope that all of us will be used by God to answer someone's prayers or make his dream come true. Remember that God blesses us so that we can bless others. 4 practical ways to cope with financial stress. Tip number 1, live within your means. Tip number 2, think of ways to reduce expenses. Tip number 3, think of ways to increase income. Tip number 4, think of ways to share blessings. If you're blessed by this video, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification button and share it to others. Do leave a comment, like you can share additional tips on how to reduce expenses and increase income. Or maybe you yourself were blessed by someone else and you'd like to share that story. Now I would like to thank some people for encouraging us. Amin Dov, Brian Lu, Mary Tanyao, Judith BC, Pastor Elisa Tan, Pastor Julia Ko, Glenda Pura of kaishao.com, Grace Ong of MGC, Helen Tew, Jeannie C. Chua, Dennis Palanca, Susan Tanfeifei, Wilson Gunn, and Reverend Philip Ang Santo. To follow Adjusting Your Heart in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Signal GCTV 185. Stay safe, everyone.